All I know, yeah, yo.
Hey guys, isnortbooze here for Betcoin Poker, and this is Tipsy Tips. Today we're going to talk about bet sizing. Bet sizing is a complex topic with many layers of depth, but for this discussion we're going to focus on two key concepts: getting value for a winning hand and risking the least possible amount for a bluff. Now these things aren't exact sciences, but I'll try and demonstrate a little bit of the thought process that goes into it in the following hands. I've discussed it in previous videos. Before making a bet, we should always think about why we're making the bet. In this particular hand, it will be to get value for a big hand. People often overlook the importance of getting max value and instead are relieved to take down a small pot rather than lose a big one. And there's definitely something to be said for that small ball style. It should be a part of your game. But when you're certain you have the best hand, what is the play to extract the most value from our opponent? Let me bring up a hand here. Now this hand is from the middle stages of the $66 30K guarantee. As you can see, I'm in good shape with 40 big blinds, second biggest stack of the table, and I pick up 6-6 in the cutoff position. Hijack raises a little more than double, and I decide to just call here. Now a 3-bet is fine in many spots, but this guy's been playing pretty solid. I don't want to have to fold to a 4-bet. Figure I'll see a flop. Either I might hit my set, or maybe the flop will miss his range and I can outplay him post-flop. And everyone else folds. And bingo! I do hit the set. Not only do I hit my set, but an ace comes on the board. And obviously he has many ace possibilities, especially since I don't have one. So he comes out, bets a little less than half the pot. Doesn't really mean anything. He could be trying to build a pot with a big ace, or he could just be representing a big ace, hoping that I fold. Now I like to just call here. If he has a hand that whiffed that flop completely, I'm not going to get any more value if I raise. Now if he has a big ace, we're going to be getting more money in on later streets anyway, so I don't think he's too worried about my hand. It's not likely I called with an ace-5, ace-6. And if I did have ace-queen or ace-king, something like that, I probably would have raised. So if he has a big ace, he's going to believe he's ahead here, and we're in good shape to get some good value here. Turn is a 3. Neither one of us should be scared of this card. There's no flush possibilities. Neither of us has 2-4 or 4-7 in our range. And he checks, which again doesn't really narrow his hand down. I mean, he could still have a big ace here and assume he's got the best hand, or he could have a hand, like queen-queen or king-king, and be worried that maybe I have the ace. But I do sense he's getting a little tricky with me, and I use the same thought process here that I used on the flop. If he doesn't have the ace, he's probably going to fold. If he does, then he's slow playing me, and I'm going to get a good chance at some value on the river. Again, due to this board texture, a big ace really has nothing to be worried about, so his check doesn't necessarily signify any kind of weakness. Mine doesn't really either, but I've got far less ace-king, ace-queen in my range than he does based on the way I've played it so far. And, again, he doesn't really have too many 2-pair combos to be worried about here. So, yeah, I check back. River is a 10, doesn't worry me a bit. Basically, unless he happens to have one of the 3 combos of ace-ace that are left in the deck, I'm the winner. So, he actually bets out a nice little chunk here, a little over half the pot. And I go into the tank pretending like I'm pondering a call, but really all I'm thinking about is Vegas and the fucking Mirage. Now this is a situation where a lot of players get stuck. The less we bet, the more likely he is to call, of course. So how do we extract max value? I wish there was a mathematical formula for it, but for tournaments there just isn't. Based on what we've discovered so far in the hand, he either has a big ace here or is bluffing. And if he's bluffing, kudos to us, we already got max value. But if he does have that big ace, we want the most bang for our buck here. So I feel like if he's going to call a min raise, he's going to call a decent chunk more than that. Now, like I said, we are nearing the bubble. I don't want to scare him away, and put them all in. A one-pair hand, ace-king, ace-queen, will probably fold to a shove here. So, I elect to bet 99.98. When you make a bet like 99.98, it doesn't look like it's based on the pot size. It's a psychological tactic. It's like trying to say, you're saying, hey, I'm giving you a little discount from the 10K that I'd like to get, so call my bet. Then he has to figure out whether my offer is sincere or not. Well, actually, my bet is based on the pot size, and yours always should be too. What I did was I bet about 2.5 times the size of his bet. It's about 5/6 of the pot. I use this sizing because if he does have that big ace, he's going to want to call that bet. But it's still going to get me plenty of value. If he does call that bet, in his mind, if he loses, it's leaving him enough chips to where, hey, I can still work with this stack. I can still, make it into the money. Poker is psychological warfare, and I try and use these mind games every chance I get. In the end, I made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and we get the call. He did end up mucking it, so, we didn't get to see what his hand was, but rest assured it was definitely a big ace, maybe even ace-10, but, definitely got some good value for that hand. Let me pull up another one here. All right, so this is a hand from Betcoin's own daily coin, and what I demonstrate in this hand is the sizing used while bluffing. When bluffing, you want to bet the least amount possible to get them to fold, because if they call, you need to leave yourself with as large an arsenal of chips as possible. Now, you're not always going to have that opportunity. Sometimes you're going to have to bluff shove. Every spot's going to be different. But here's a fun little spot where I can just show you some of what should go through your mind when you do get that opportunity. Late registration has just ended here. I'm sitting pretty with 46 big blinds and the table chip lead. Big Bad Man decides to limp under the gun. I'm min raise here with Jack-10 suited. In a normal, 15-minute structure tourney, I would definitely make it somewhere between 300 and 400 here, but the daily coin plays differently. With the structure of the daily coin, I'm already good. I can stick around with this 4 to 5K chip level and kind of coast into the money. So being that it's the daily coin, I don't want to start a huge pot going, especially since an under the gun limp generally will show extreme weakness or extreme strength. If he raises me, I know I'm dead. If he calls or folds, I can probably outplay him post-flop. Do get one more call from the big blind, and he comes along as well. Flop comes 2-5 queen with 2 diamonds, and it checks to me. I bet half the pot, hoping to just take it down right here. Board's pretty dry. They're likely going to fold if they don't have a queen or a flush draw here. Big blind gets out of the way, but Big Bad Man does not. When he just check calls the flop there, it's not really likely he has a queen there. Generally if you have a queen with a flush draw on the board, especially after I raise pre-flop, so it's likely I've got some overs. He's either going to want to just come right out and bet or check raise me. I don't put him on many queens here. What I do put him on with when he makes a call is either, like a flush draw, a mid-range pocket pair, maybe even ace-high. Turn is a 5, which, with the hand that I'm repping, I'm not too worried about. He should be more worried than me. So when he checks to me, I'm ready to go for the kill. I bet 800, which is like 60% of the pot, figuring I can just take it down right there. But no, he just won't go away. So at this point, you know, I'm still kind of putting him on one of the hands I put him on earlier. Can't really narrow his range much, but, you know, likely he's got a diamond draw, some kind of mid-range pocket pair, or ace high. Turn doesn't help either, you know, any of those. River is a queen. So again, you know, based on what I've been repping, I'm in good shape. It's very, very possible that I just made a bad read here, and, you know, this guy's just owning me. He's got me destroyed. But, you know, more likely, I'm still banking on the fact that he's got, you know, one of those other three types of hands. So, you know, he checks to me again, and I already know, hey, the only way I'm winning this pot is by bluffing. There's no way, you know, I'm winning this hand by checking. It's a big pot already. I want to win this hand. You know, a lot of the time you're just going to want to give up in this spot. But, you know, if this guy was chasing the flush, or if he has an overcard, he's definitely not going to feel good about calling here. So I figure, hey, let me throw out a little baby bet here. I bet a third of the pot. Bet that size. First of all, you know, looks like I'm just trying to get a little more value in there. But more importantly, it gives me my only chance to win the chips without risking too much of my stack. Which again is the whole point of this exercise. I want to bet the least possible amount to get that fold. In this situation, you know, if he's calling, you know, a small bet, he's going to call a big bet. He's going to call a, you know, a shove. So I might as well just go for the small bet. Hope to get the fold without, you know, risking too much of my stack. And we do get it. We take down that pot. So with you know, as little risk as possible. Thank you so much for watching. This has been I Snort Booze for Betcoin Poker, and this has been Tipsy Tips.